Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever you are, welcome back to 1-0. Welcome back to the channel. And again, it's another Euro video because the Euros are upon us. It's exciting times. I've got my predictions. I've got the camera here with all the groups, how it's got to look, how it's got to vibe, and we're Gucci. We're looking forward to it. Please, before the video does start, if you do enjoy and you want to stick around for more Euro content, please subscribe, like, do all the business, help YouTube push it out. I want 400 subscribers soon. So if you do subscribe and do all that business, YouTube can help push 1-0 out because it's good vibes. It's good vibes here at 1-0. It's good vibes. So, as I said, we've got the prediction. I've got my computer up here. You're going to be able to see the little things come up down below on the screen. Let's jump straight into it. Before we do start, I want you guys to drop in your predictions. I'm going to go through the group positions, the quarterfinals, semifinals, all that stuff, and the winner. And I'm going to chuck in a golden boot and a player of the tournament and a breakout player of the tournament. So someone who I think is going to have a breakout season. You want to see my Sweet, understand? Cool, awesome. Now, starting off, ladies and gentlemen, in Group A, we've got Italy, Turkey, Wales, and Switzerland in that order. Okay, I've gone for Italy. I've got to top that group. Italy, they're getting a bit of a reputation to be a dark horse for this tournament. So, the Italy fans, are you believing that hype? Or do you think you'll just make a good push, be proud of your work, and continue through? I think Turkey are a bit of a team to watch. They've played well in their qualifiers. I've also got Yilmaz, who won the league with Lille in France. So they've got some quality ballers in there. I think defensively, Turkey are very strong. I don't think they're going to be an exciting team to watch, but I think they've got to scrape out victories and qualify past that group stage, with Wales in third and Switzerland in fourth, just lacking a bit more of that quality to really prevail against those other two teams. Now in Group B, you can see the teams and you can see the ladder positions where I've got them. I've got Belgium topping it. I think it's a very easy group for Belgium. Denmark coming in at second, with Russia. With Russia and Denmark, I think could be the ones that swap in there. Russia, we know, had a brilliant World Cup where they exceeded expectations. Is part of it. I feel like a lot of it did have to do with they were in Russia. The players are all feeling that adrenaline where they're like, "Oh, sweet, we're playing at home. This is awesome. This is vibes." Can they continue that? They had a lot of players who people got to know at that World Cup, and then kind of faded out a bit. Which is why I've got Denmark in there, just because I think they might be better as a whole squad. Poulsen up front, I think that could be okay. Now in Group C, obviously, as you can see on screen, I've got Netherlands to top that group. We can see what Virgil van Dijk has done to Liverpool without being in that team. I think it could be even worse what Virgil van Dijk not playing is going to have on Netherlands, because they've got to have De Ligt in there, but missing Van Dijk is huge. Liverpool fans have been talking about it all year. People have been giving Liverpool stick all season because they said you just rely on Van Dijk, blah blah blah. But it's going to be massive for them. I do think Gravenberch is going to be good. You want to send a video I did the other day where I said my players to watch. I think a Frankie De Jong could be very good this Euros tournament. But De Ligt is going to have to step up in that defense where the Daily Blind comes in. But I think Netherlands shouldn't have a problem in topping that group. And to some of you, might surprise, I've got North Macedonia finishing second, their first Euros in a very, very, very long time. And I've got them finishing second. They're new to the Euros. Yes, the quality isn't necessarily totally there. They've got Elmas, obviously the young winger, Pandev up front. First of all, the kit could be so much better. But the kit is just, they had a beautiful kit in the qualifiers, and then they've come and it's just shit. But I've got them finishing second. I think, I don't know. I feel like Austria could jump into there, but I feel like North Macedonia, again, a bit of the same on that adrenaline. I feel like just could be saying, man, you know what? Why? Let's just go have some fun. Let's not take it too serious. Go have some fun. Get some good results here and there. With Austria third, Ukraine fourth, because I don't know. Ukraine's just a bit dry. Ukraine's just a bit dry. Now, Group D, you're going to be able to see on screen. Group D, we've got England topping that group. It's coming home. We've got Croatia in at second, Czech Republic third, and Scotland in at fourth. It's not an easy group. It's not an easy group at all. And I feel like not enough people are talking about Croatia. I think they made the World Cup final. Yes, they've maybe got a bit older. Luka Modric maybe isn't the player than what he was in that World Cup. Still got the likes of Brozovic, Kovacic, Perisic still there. Any other Chiches? But again, Croatia, I think they make it second in that group. I think England top it. It's got to be super interesting. It's got to be very, very interesting to see England this tournament. Also, they've got the home ground advantage, really. I mean, they're playing in the UK. So, yes, it's still a home ground advantage. They're going to have a lot of fans there. But I think their biggest downfall is Gareth Southgate. I've actually got a video coming out on Friday, so make sure to tune in for that, about England, about how I think they've got to go in this tournament, and whether people need to maybe just take a step back, because maybe this is one Euros too soon for them to win. But we'll talk about that later. Scotland could be interesting at fourth, but I just think that like a bit of quality. Shea Adams up front, Kamara in the midfield, Robertson as well. Unfortunately for Scotland, I mean, Tini sort of plays in that back three for Scotland, so he does come and sort of tuck into there. But I just think they lack a bit of quality. I think Czech just might be able to get a bit of an edge into there. Group E now, we can say, got Spain up top, with Poland, Sweden, and Slovakia. Obviously, Ibrahimovic has come back for Sweden after he did retire. Poland, I think, comes second with Lewandowski just being too good, just an absolute machine up front who's got to be pivotal for them. And Spain, I think they top it. I think Spain shouldn't have a problem topping this group, but at the same time, they've lost a lot of their stars. They're not. I don't feel like Spain have that fear factor that they used to have, which is going to happen. Yeah, because in their prime, with David Villa, Iniesta, they were crazy. As Xavi, now you're getting a Ramos and a Piqué centre-back partnership where if I'm the gaffer, I'm sort of telling Piqué to, or Ramos even, my apologies, take it back, don't unsubscribe. Paul Torres, I think, probably gets that shot. Gerard Moreno up front from Villarreal did just win a Europa League. So that they've got a decent team, and I feel like people aren't going to give them a lot of credit, but I think they're just going to be bang average. I think they'll be bang average. Which takes us over to Group F, aka the Group of Death, where I've got France in first, topping that group. Because France are just... I mean, it's not fair. They're so stacked. The World Cup winners, they're so stacked. But in second place, I've got Portugal, last Euros winners. Third place, Germany. Fourth place, Hungary. Hungary are sitting here saying, what did we do to deserve this? It's pretty crazy. But I feel for Hungary. But I'm sorry. Go to Macca's, cure your hunger, because I think after that, you're a bit... Thanks for coming. Germany is interesting. Germany, I've got them in third. We'll go later because obviously there's a best third place team which advances into the tournament. Blah blah blah. We'll talk about that later. We'll get to it later. Germany interesting because I think there may be. It's not because I don't think they're good. That's why they finished third. I think it's because France take that top spot. France are just amazing. Portugal have obviously got some good players. I think the front three, with Ronaldo, Diogo Jota. I think Diogo Jota could be very good and have a good breakout season at this year's Euros. Bruno Fernandes in behind, Ruben Dias in centre back. So the Portugal team, and João Cancelo as well. So this Portugal team is developing as well. Even though they just won it, they've got some good players developing. Bernardo Silva up front also. So they've got some very good players, some very well-known players as well. How is Cristiano Ronaldo going to fare this season? This Euros tournament? Obviously hasn't had as great of a season as we know Ronaldo to have for Juventus. Rumours are that he's going to leave Juventus. Juventus want to get rid of him. So it could be interesting to see what he's like in the Euros. I think Germany, yes, they will... They're going to be good, but I think they're just missing something. And it's Joachim Löw's final tournament as well as a Germany gaffer. Now we can go over to the round of 16 and you'll be able to see the first game we've got, which is Belgium-Wales. And I'm not going to waste my time on this because I think Belgium advanced through that pretty easily. Next up, we've got Italy-North Macedonia. Once again, I'm not going to waste my time on this. Italy go through. Sets up a nice clash in the quarterfinals, but we'll get to that later, ladies and gentlemen. Now, on the other part of the bracket, we've got France versus Austria. I'm sorry, Austria, but you're just a fake Australia. France go through. Croatia versus Poland. Could actually be a good game. Could actually be a very good game. I've got to say Croatia go through for a similar reason, in the sense of that they're not getting spoken about a lot. And Poland, yes, they've got some unbelievable players, but I think Croatia just overall, as a unit, just a little bit stronger. Which sets up, which we'll find later, an belter of a match. Takes us to Spain versus Russia, and I think Spain go through. I think Spain win that game. England versus Portugal. Whoa, mate. This is crazy. And I forgot to add it at the start. I'm going to be live streaming these games, most of these games, okay, on Twitch, link in description. Do not want to miss it. If it goes to an England versus Portugal, mate, it is. Could you imagine that? Imagine that. Imagine if England go home in the round of 16 after all this hype and they go home in the round of 16. I've got England winning it though. So I don't know if it's a bit of bias. I'm not biased to England, but I don't know. I feel like England will win that game. Netherlands Germany sets up another cracking game. Like I said, I think the Van Dijk injury is just too big for Netherlands. I think they got De Jong, like I said, Donny van de Beek as well. I think Germany advanced through, and Turkey versus Denmark, which isn't the most exciting game out of that round of 16, but I think Turkey advance and make the quarterfinals, which in their eyes is pretty decent. Leads us to the quarterfinals, the beginning of it with Belgium versus Italy. I've got Belgium winning that game. I think that's going to be a very good game. I wouldn't be surprised if Italy do win this. Obviously now Belgium advancing through to the semi-finals if they do beat Italy in the quarterfinals, which if Italy do that, it's pretty big for them. I've got Belgium winning that because I feel like they've got this bit of hunger about them that this almost is one of their last opportunities as a core unit to win a world championship. Which then leads us, as you can see on the screen, a World Cup final rematch. Are Croatia got to have a bit of anger about them, try and get some revenge against France. But they've got Kimpembe, N'Golo Kante. So France has got to win. That's stupid. France is got to win that, which sets up an unbelievable semi-finals, which we'll touch on later. Takes us again, Spain versus England. England have got to find themselves having a very difficult tournament. Okay, I don't think people have taken this into consideration that much. England are going to have a very difficult tournament because if they do finish first, they almost might prefer to finish second in their group. If not that you can tank, but they might prefer to finish second because they finish first. They play the second place in that group F. Let's say Portugal finish first and France finish second. England versus France in the round of 16. That's huge. So England fans, yes, it's coming home, but at the same time, make sure you guys don't go home too early. Spain versus England in the quarterfinals. I've got England winning that. I think Spain, as like I said, they're not the juggernauts that they used to be, and I think England should be able to get that through. Sets up Germany versus Turkey, which interesting matchup. I've got Germany going through and winning that game, which then takes us to the semi-finals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, which is key. I love international football. It's gas. Belgium versus France, and it's another brilliant matchup because you got two countries and two teams that are both fighting for similar, obviously the same thing, but a different mentality in a way because France have done it. They've won the World Cup. They go, we can be one of the greatest countries. They can join that Germany, Spain teams where they were just so good and everyone knew it. Whereas Belgium, sort of like, we need to win one because I feel like looking back on this Belgium era, it's got to feel like a wasted opportunity. However, saying all that, I've got France winning and France heading over to the final, which takes us to the next semi-final. And if there's people in England watching this, I love yous. I don't say yous. I do like England, but they're up against Germany. And although Germany got to finish third in the group. That's what I predicted. But the way it all works, they're juggernauts. They're strong. They're tough. They used to have a player called Bastian Schweinsteiger. Okay, so they don't muck around. However, in saying that, Harry Kane is going to be unbelievable this tournament, which is why I've got England winning in the semi-final against Germany, which, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you can see on the screen, takes us to the final, and you can see I've chosen France. Let me explain why. France are just too strong. They're just too, unless they have something tragically bad go wrong with them. Griezmann, Benzema, Mbappe, Pogba, Kante, chucking a Rabiot. They got Kimpembe, Varane. Mate, they've got teams for Giroud off the bench, Koeman off the bench. They're crazy. It's a crazy squad. One that Didier Deschamps should be very lucky to be able to manage. And he's a good gaffer as well. He's a very good gaffer as well. England, on the other hand, go another tournament without bringing it home. However, they should be proud with a grand final appearance. I might have overhyped England a bit. I think yes, they're going to be good, but I want to be surprised if they've got a round of 16 exit. It's very Englandy of them. However, one thing I would say is Chelsea winning the Champions League, I think, is very big for them. And Man City making the Champions League, I think, is big for the likes of Mason Mount, Reece James, because they've played on a massive scale. They've played in a grand final. They've played in a cup final, a big stage, and they know that feeling. Yes, the Euros probably is a bit bigger, but they know what it's like to win. And that's what if I was Gareth Southgate, I'd be playing players that are on momentum and are able to are just buzzing because they know how to win. They are winners. So I think it could be an interesting tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is my prediction on how it's got to pan out. I think it could be a very exciting tournament. I think it's a tournament where we've got to see some young players really make a name for themselves. But before we do leave and before we do part ways, Golden Boot. I think Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane wins the Golden Boot. He's had an unbelievable season in the Premier League. Top most goals, most assists. Harry Kane does wonders. I go player of the tournament. Could say N'Golo Kante, but I'm going to go for some would say a boring choice, but I'm going to go for a. Oh, I've changed it halfway in my mind. I'm going to go for an Mbappe because he's unbelievable. But I think Mbappe's got to do it again because the kid's a freak, man. The kid's a freak. And he's hungry as well, which is crazy. And the breakout tournament player, so a young player that I think has got to break out and really make a name for himself is the young player that I think is going to have a breakout tournament at this season's Euros is Ryan Gravenberch for Netherlands. I think he's going to be huge. I think he's going to be big in that midfield next to De Jong. I think Gravenberch is going to be very well known at the end of this year's Euros. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching. I've been Costa. This is 1-0. Like I said at the start, please do subscribe, like, comment your predictions down below. And we've got the live streams coming back for the matches as well. So it's all good vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for watching. I'm Costa. See ya.